All right. Hey, everybody. I got Sandy C with me. We're going to go over what he's doing to prepare for the Thunderdome. How are you doing, buddy?
I am awesome. So glad to be here, Chris.
So tell me, I want to know what you're doing, how you're able to help the most people get ready, because we're going to experience food shortages. That's a fact. Food prices are going up every day. That's also a fact. Inflation, we're going to talk about a few things that the billionaires are doing, the people that are not stupid. And we're going to try to bring it back to what we're doing as the smaller guys, how we're bracing. So what is like the number one thing? You've been doing a series, just trying to give me what you're up to, because it's going to probably help the most people.
Well, right now, this country is so divided. Everybody feels like they're under attack for everything. So what I've kind of just been doing is really focusing on keeping it simple, stupid. Most of this country isn't in a homestead position, doesn't have any experience, has no idea how to preserve food without modern electricity, refrigeration, an electric stove. And we've just kind of lost touch with being human. So I want to it's a lot easier than we think or we make it out to be. There's a lot of very easy steps that you can do to get prepared for something like this without having to need $1 million, a ton of money, or a ton of experience. So that's what I'm focusing on. It's baby steps, keeping it simple, just focus on a drop in a bucket at a time.
I love it. Give me a baby step. I want the number one thing, and I'll go over the number one thing. What's your number one thing people should do right now?
Right now, throw an extra bag of rice in your cart when you go to the grocery store. Go grab one of those 20-pound bags. It's as easy as that. Or Winn-Dixie's got 5 cans for $4 right now. Load the boat.
There's a glut of goods at the moment.
There's a ton of stuff on sale. It's amazing how many it's like they're trying to get the stuff out. I'm seeing, well, this grow light, $200 is on sale for $35 at Walmart. All kind of stuff. I saw Fiji water, 24 baht of the big liters. It's normally $40 on sale for $18 right now. If you're a Fiji person or something, just an example of there's massive sales everywhere.
So
which kind of scares me.
So no, it's what's happening is the supply chain starting to get tight, and now it's time to go, and people are running out of discretionary spending money. Everything's inflated, and these things on the end caps, things we don't need to survive, are going to be a glut of. So all the things we need, there's going to be plenty. We don't need is going to be plentiful, and the things we absolutely have to have, like potatoes and rice and stuff like that, is going to be thin, or it'll be expensive. That's how they'll slow it down. They'll just make it so expensive you just won't buy that much. You won't be able to go in and buy it all. But for right now, buying rice is like a really, really good thing. I would say potatoes. You can plant potatoes. I've experienced planting potatoes this year, first time. But in my life, potatoes have been so cheap, I never wanted to grow them. They were just so, you get a bag of potatoes for a few bucks. How many potatoes
you get a big sack. Yep.
Right. Well, the potatoes I grew, I went out there and just dug one plant up and started ripping them out of the ground. I got probably, I don't know, it was so many I couldn't carry them. And the skin on them was so thin, you could wipe it off with your finger. And they were delicious. They were crazy good. I threw them in a Instapot, cooked them for 25 minutes, and I had my carbohydrates for the week. It was awesome, amazing. I was like, wow, anybody can do this. You can grow potatoes in a barrel. What's the second thing? What's the
water? Secure some type of drinking water. Now, the easy method is using the Ninja's Pro One USA. I love those. I'm not sponsored by it, but there's other stuff like in your Telegram, getting all the carbon with the filters and stuff. There's a ton of easy way to secure water, because if we lose power in our modern grids, you also lose water too.
Humidifier. I understand that works off of power, but that was a really good.
That's a fantastic one, especially here in Florida. I mean, Florida's easy. You can build a dehumidifier, basically stick a plastic umbrella outside with a bucket under it for it to catch water, and you've got a dehumidifier in Florida. But yeah, dehumidifier is a fantastic one, and you could even dedicate one little solar panel to it if that's the one thing you need to operate for water. But yeah, secure water. People that have pools in their backyard, this is the time, keep it full. When stuff hits the fan, you can take your nice filtered water and just put it, run it through there.
Yeah, sure. That's a good idea. We've got a pond. It's a bunch of muddy water at the moment. There's a creek behind the house. Louisiana's got plenty of water. I've got a well, and people ask me, well, how are you going to run your well? Well, I got a holding tank that I can pump full of water, with a generator, and that's, 500 gallons has lasted me a long time. I have not gone down the solar panel rabbit hole yet. They're extremely expensive, and you get little so far. It's I would love a solar generator. That's probably the next thing. I'm trying to get through this pond first. And, I got some solar panels, but I'm not set up, and I just want it to run some refrigerators. That's it. Refrigerators and some lights. And
Keep a
in
couple
order
deep
to do
freezers.
that, you need a really big system.
You do. Yeah. They love to advertise the wattage on them. Oh, I've got 100 million watts, but what people don't realize is amperage is how most of these things run. If you only have a 15 amp, but 40 billion watts, you can't even run one refrigerator, because a typical refrigerator is 30 to 50 amp, so that's something a lot of people miss in these brightly colored advertising generators.
Well, there's another, my wife, and there's another YouTuber. Her name's American Prepper Girl, and she brought the attention female products. My wife's been talking about female products, shortage of tampons, all these things. And, it's going to be hard getting to the Thunderdome. I can't imagine menstruating through it or having to deal with a woman that's menstruating through it that doesn't have the right supplies.
No,
So
because long hair is hard enough to deal with.
that's an easy thing to do. Go ahead and get some of that stuff. It lasts forever. I don't know if there is an
It lasts
expiration date.
forever. If it lasts forever, stack it to the ceiling.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there's probably a glut of it right now. So if
There are limits. There are limits on feminine products. If you go to, because my girlfriend's been stocking up, but she's had to make daily orders. Walmart will only let you buy, I think it's 6 boxes at a time now. So she's been buying 6 boxes a day. And I've been saying with canning jars, there's limits on now. There's a lot of items that they have limits on, and I've been hitting my daily limit with them.
canning jars. See, that's something I'm a little bit behind on. My plan is to take the meat out of my freezer and can it when it's time. When it happens and the lights go out, I say, okay, turn the generator on, and we're going to start canning meat. That's our project for the next few days. We're going to can meat day and night till it's all done. But until then, I'm not doing it. It's just not, you can spend a lot of time and money, and I don't have time right now. I'm completely
It is a lot
tapped
of
out.
time. It's a lot of time. But the jars, I noticed after the woohoo, they were impossible to find. And if you did find them, they were $60 for a 12-pack. Right now on Wally World, they're $11.97, $10.97, depending on what size. And they have them. Actually, well, they're actually running out, because mine used to come from my local Walmart. The last order I made came from a Walmart 300 miles away. So that doesn't tell you something. Then stock, it used to come from my local one down the street, and then the one in town a little bit further. Now they're coming from hundreds of miles away. So
Cans, I use them. This is what we drink out of. When I think of a good cold glass of water, I think of a big mason jar, slap full of water with ice coming out of the top. That's just, and
I can't stand it. My nose is too big, so I can't. I have to drink them like this. So I'm out of that one.
all right. So just if you go back to the rich people, and these guys are super smart. This is what they do is they watch markets, and they're warning. And if my computer wasn't on my anvil, I'd be smacking it with my hammer right now. But people like Jamie Dimon, he's got a net worth of 1.8. It's in between like 1.6 and 1.8. What's a couple $100 million between friends? But he's saying an economic hurricane's coming. Michael Burry, he said it's like watching a plane crash. He thinks the market has plenty of room to plunge. We're talking about people losing their 401ks, their IRAs, all that stuff. That's why you should see the people that are rolling over their stuff into gold and silver. It's like the grand passage. People are moving to real money.
I've got to get my mom hooked up with you. I got her. She's one of these, baby steps, and I got her. She thanked me so much. I got her out of the stock market last week. She got into treasuries, but my next step is to push her into the gold and silver.
It's just a little bit, I can't imagine. I just can't imagine going through some type of hyperinflation and not having some hard assets, some real money that people have been talked out of. See, people have been talked completely out of it.
Absolutely. And here's where I put this up. And this is, if you have no experience with anything, this is good layman's. I hope I can bring it up here, but this is just the NASDAQ from, all time. Or can you see that?
Yeah.
If you look here, here's the .com bubble. Boom. Look at this little blip right there. That's the 2008 Great Recession. That little thing was the Great Recession. Then look what we've done. Straight
Yeah.
up, there's the Rona, the beer,
Yeah.
right there. And we've shot up off a cliff. So if people don't think, what is all this fake? How did we go that? We were doing this forever, and now all of a sudden we went vertical, and we've never come back to that pre-08 recession. We just dipped and went straight back up.
So I'm gonna do a video on the Depression, what happened then, and how it emulates what's happening now, and it's different. It's different, but man, there's a lot of similarities. I mean, it is crazy. I got chills on my arms thinking about it.
Mine just stood up too.
It's like, because I've got some pictures that I'm going to put with it, and I hope it'll really bring it back home, because people were taking out loans to buy the stock market. They were putting everything in the stock market because it never went down. It never went down. It only went up.
Yep.
Does that sound familiar?
The celebrities get into it. All the celebrities at that time, Hollywood was massive. Everything in the stock market, everything in the stock market. Look at now. Madonna's got her own NFT. Every new celebrity is creating these new NFTs, and they've got this new way to make money. It's like,
it's the roaring 2020s.
That's it. We're back in them, baby.
So there's a few more on here, but I really didn't want to talk about the wealthy. It's just, it's interesting to me that the people that are worth billions of dollars are saying, hey, this crap's going down. Hey, everybody, I'm telling you, remember, I told you that. And nobody's listening, because it's just like, the markets never go down. And when they do, they come right back. And I've been telling people at work, I've been telling people, hey, what would be wrong with taking 10% of all the money you've made, the hundreds of thousands of dollars, and just take it a little bit and put it in something like this? Just something, you got it. I can trade this for a laying chicken. Here's 2 laying chickens right here.
Yep. I love it.
It's just real simple to me. Or somebody said the other day, an ounce of gold is worth a cow. And it will probably be always worth a cow. We'll see. It could get off, how they manipulate it.
Everything fluctuates somewhat.
Yeah. So is there anything like people are missing that you're seeing? What is, what's something that we can bring up that most people are missing?
Well, the way I kind of make everything easy, you've kind of, as a human, you need air, food, and water. Okay. Water, boom, easy. You get your filtration, have that covered, have a source of water covered. Food, you can drop it in the bucket. Now, if you're on a budget, air, the only way to protect your air really is going full regalia, gas mask, all that. And really, you need a ton of money for that. They don't last long. There's all different cans for gases. So if you don't have military experience or a lot of money, I'm almost just kind of like, if it gets that bad, what am I going to do? You know what I mean? It's above my pay grade at that point. Exactly. So I'm really focusing on food, water. And the other thing is how to cook your food, how to prepare your food when, not if, when the grid goes down. And people have brought up other points, because my backup was going to be propane and charcoal grills outside. But if people are really starving, I've got a lot bad bum situation, not homeless, bum situation around my area. And I can only imagine when they're hungry, they'll be wandering through if they smell it. So I've secured indoor camping. If you get, you can get dual fuel or butane, you can burn butane indoors. Nice little indoor stove. So if and when the grid goes down, which I actually had a good little blackout last week, that's what I recommend. Put yourself in the dark, put your family in the dark for a day, see how you live. That really, I found my baseline. And where I was weak was cooking when the power went out. I had my water, I had my food, but I was weak in the cooking area. So that's going to need cooking fuel, whether it be charcoal, propane, butane, something to cook your food, and fire skills. shoot, I've got this in my wallet, keep it at all times. Boom. It's a Fresnel lens right here, smaller than a credit card. I can start a fire in 2 minutes with this thing. Get one, practice with it. Practice your outdoor skills. Practice like we're living in 1899, 1799. Learn to live how humans lived for 175,000 years. We're the only donkeys in the last 100 years that don't know how to be human. So I kind of like that. Get in touch with your human side.
Yeah, that's good, man. Well, Sandy, I appreciate you coming on, brother.
And I appreciate you having me on, man. You guys don't know how much I was so depressed before meeting you guys, just like, what's the point in living type of stuff? Like, oh, and then meeting other like-minded people that know what's going on. We know what's happening. It's just, I'm a new person. I'm a new man again. So thank you.
Good,
Thank
man.
Ninja.
Absolutely, man. That's great. I love hearing that. And that's the biggest part for me is the community. When I do my live streams and I see, people commenting and they're back and forth and they're trading stuff in the comments.
Yes.
There's a lady in Canada back when she said she needed something and people were over there helping her. I mean, it was awesome. That kind of stuff
amazing.
To me is where it's all about. So guys, have an awesome day. Later, dude.
Have a great one. Later, dude.